Starting over is never easy, especially at 30, leaving behind everything you know. But that's exactly what Federico did when he moved from Italy to the UK, stepping into the unknown to chase a new path. In this episode, he shares the challenges of rebuilding his life, finding his place in a new culture, and eventually taking the biggest risk of all, opening Table 13, a coffee shop and wine bar, during a global pandemic. We talk about navigating rejection, adapting to change, and learning to trust the process, even when things don't go as planned. Plus, a quick fire round where he shares his routines, biggest lessons, and the things he had to unlearn along the way. If you've ever thought about starting over, taking a risk, or stepping out of your comfort zone, this is the episode for you. Welcome to ChatterBeans, where every cup holds a story. I'm your host, Isaac Kong, and in this brand new podcast series, I'll be sitting down with people from all walks of life. Join me as we dive into their stories, the lessons they've learned, the memories that have shaped them, and those bits of advice they wish they could share with others. And the surprising things you'd never guess just by looking. Every episode, we'll sit, chat, and discover the extraordinary hidden in everyday lives. So grab your favourite brew and settle in. It's time for some good coffee and even better conversation here on ChatterBeans. Federico, welcome to ChatterBeans.
Oh, thank you so much.
How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yeah, great to be here.
It's great to have you here. So let's set the scene. So I know you from our local coffee shop, Table 13. So I'm going to let you explain Table 13 because you are the owner and founder and manager of that, right?
Yeah, that's my job at the moment.
Yeah. How long have you been running Table 13?
It's been almost 5 years. I think it was October 2020.
Nice.
Just right in the pandemic.
Okay.
It was a kind of funny start. Obviously, pandemic came. I think it was March 2020. At the time, I was working in a wine bar restaurant chain. I mean, called Vinoteca. They had a few restaurants.
Okay.
And I was actually one of the operation manager there. So it was kind of the safe job, the good job and that kind of thing. Pandemic came, furlough home. And the first month was amazing. Getting paid, spend time with your family home.
Yeah.
First month was amazing. Second month too. And then start thinking, what I'm going to do? I mean, it's like, we're home. And I always wanted to do something by myself. And then it came it was a cafe downstairs where I live. And so we start kind of, okay, what shall I do? I always thought to do something related with coffee, food and wine.
Yeah.
And came out that was available to do. So we kind of, we were still pretty much locked down. We couldn't do much. I mean, all the restaurants were still closed, central London. So we decided to do a pop-up. Obviously, just take away coffee and sandwich.
In that site?
In that site.
Oh, wow.
We planned everything with Sophia there. Eventually, after she started working with us later on. But then what happened was we set a date for that pop-up.
Yeah.
And then obviously the restaurant in London, they could open again.
Yeah.
So my company, the company said, okay, well, we reopen the restaurants and you are one of the one coming back to work because we need obviously to reopen all the sites. And I thought, I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
It was very terrifying because obviously I've been working with this company for 8-9 years, so a long time. So I knew the owners. I mean, I was a part of the family.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, telling them that I don't want to do it was, it came back something that I experienced in the past, like when I left my job in Italy. It was like, but then I was so, okay, that's what I want to do. And I got back to work a few months. And then obviously we didn't do the pop-up. I actually dislocated shoulder in Liverpool Street Station. It was a pretty crazy month.
Oh, no.
So the pop-up failed. Then I left the job, though. So I gave the notice, left the job. I said, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to do something on my own.
Yeah.
I'm taking a few weeks off then go in Italy, spend time with the family on the
Nice.
seaside. And then I'm coming back in September looking for a site. So I came back in September, no idea where to start looking for sites. And then obviously the site was still available, and then we started Table 13.
Amazing.
Still in lockdown, was complete
Yeah.
takeaway. That's how it started.
Because we were in lockdown for quite a while, weren't we? We went back in again around Christmas, right?
Yeah, I think it was getting locked and then
Yeah.
opens up. It was
Yeah.
definitely when we opened, it was it was takeaway. So
Yeah.
we couldn't have people in.
No.
So mask, or everyone with a mask, and it was I mean, now remembering now, it was like it doesn't seem true, but
Yeah.
what we went through, it was pretty crazy. We opened it, put people in, and we had to close again.
Yeah.
I think it took 1 year to get the coffee shop up and running with
Yeah.
people in, and so we
And how you
started
wanted it.
yeah, actually we start adding more bits, and yeah.
Yeah. So where did the idea for Table 13? Why Table 13?
I mean, the name is since I'm working in UK in hospitality, I found that any restaurant I worked, they don't put Table 13 for
Yes.
any reason.
Okay.
And I always thought the number 13 is my lucky number. I had no
Okay.
idea what reason why. You know, those kind of things when you get a number, and every
Yeah.
time in your life appears the number.
Yeah.
It's just you focus on the number.
Yeah.
But I always thought, oh, one day, if I'm gonna open my place, I'm gonna call Table 13. And it's actually that place, it's got 13 tables.
Ah.
And I think the table that we always liked, it's Table 13.
Is it really?
There is a Table
There
13.
we go. There we
Yeah.
go. I had no idea because I've worked in restaurants and I knew. Yeah. Now I remember back, we never had a Table 13. So how interesting. That's a
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah, it's
And have you? So you've worked in wine coffee shops for some time. So how long have you been in the UK?
moved in UK 2010.
Okay. What was the reason for that?
That's a very good question. I think the main reason was I think I got trapped when I was young in the kind of Italian culture.
Okay.
So Italian culture is like, okay, you finish the school,
Yeah.
you get married, you do kids, you find a job, and then you get a pension. That's
Yeah.
how we do. Hopefully not
Really?
nowadays, but I think they still
Yeah.
do. And then obviously I got trapped in that because it's my dad at the company. So I finished school, didn't want to study. I just
Okay.
always wanted to work
Yeah.
since I'm 15 or even
Really?
earlier. They were full partners, so everyone say, "Oh, shall we carry on the company in the future?" And every partner had a son, so okay, let's put each son.
Yeah.
And then I start working. Obviously, everything was good. I was very young. You
Yeah.
get good salary. You get girlfriend, and then you start kind of building up that kind of picture
Yeah.
of that trap we
Yeah.
call it.
This is my life.
This
Yeah.
is my life.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
then at the beginning was okay, but then I start. Oh, I'm doing not something that I don't like it. Then happened I broke up with a girlfriend. So it's kind of everything's like, okay, so that castle that I've been following is
Yeah.
actually not true.
Yeah.
So I start kind of traveling on my own, start reading, start doing other jobs. I was working Monday to Friday with in the office. I was graphic designer with my dad.
Really?
Yeah, and I was waiting to the weekend to go to work in
Yeah.
any nightclub, anything. I just want to get out from the office and work in
Yeah.
hospitality. That was the kind of thing
In Florence.
in Florence. Yeah, and that was the kind of reason. At some point, I said, okay, I never lived Italy. I want to learn English.
Yeah.
Okay, I went through. I need to leave the job, so I need to go through the process with my dad. Obviously, tell him I'm not up for it.
Yeah.
It took probably a couple of years of. It was quite a hard time on the time with my dad, with my
Course.
family, because especially with that kind of generation, hearing the son that what you're gonna do, you're gonna leave Italy for what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in
dreaming.
Italy, we got this kind of thing that a safe job is like is something that you can't touch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I
Wow.
decided to leave it, and I end up in Canterbury.
Okay.
I'm in Canterbury because the last
How did
year.
you end up there in Canterbury?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I ended up in Canterbury because when the last year, obviously being in Italy, I was kind of getting ready myself. okay, you want to leave,
Yeah.
you want to go in UK, you're gonna need to learn some English.
Yes.
I knew only probably how are you and that kind of
Really?
thing. Yeah, it was terrible. So I started doing a school in the evening, English school in
Wow,
Italy,
nice.
and they organized this week trip in UK in Canterbury.
Okay.
Obviously, I went there, so we were staying in a family there.
Yeah.
When I went in Canterbury, it was like, oh, that's amazing. That's where I want to live. And then I booked the flight to London, and then
One way.
17th of September, one way.
Wow.
Yeah, still one way.
17th, you remember the day?
17th of September. Yeah, I remember when I booked. Say, oh, that's the first my flight. I booked one way. It's still
Wow.
one way.
That's quite a significant moment, booking a one-way flight, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's almost like, this is what I'm doing.
I remember that feeling that it was no more, not a joke, but when you go through the last 2 years, was okay, thinking what I'm gonna do. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at some point I was thinking to be a photographer in those resorts in Italy. I was like reinventing myself because
Yeah.
I was 30 years old, 29, 30 years old in that stage. I didn't know a job, I didn't have a profession, want to do a lots of things, but what
Yeah.
I'm gonna do is I was trying to reinvent myself.
At 30,
At
coming up to
30.
30.
Yeah, I was at zero. Even though obviously the working with my dad gave me a lot of structure of who I am today.
Yeah.
I haven't wasted that time, but at that age, I was like, I was like almost getting out from school, and yeah, again, that's why
Yeah.
I feel yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
It was
I love that story. And 30, I've spoken to many people, including myself. At 30, that's when I started to change lots of things. Yeah, and I think we all go through that. So yeah, good for you. How was that feeling moving? Yeah, leaving your family, moving to Canterbury, those first few weeks and months in the UK.
Yeah, I think the first week was terrifying.
Really?
I was not expecting that. I think when I think about the few days, it was like heavy stuff, which is I'm
Yeah.
happy I went through that, but it's like because obviously I was coming from an excitement. I left the job I think in March, so I took
Okay.
6 months again
Wow,
off, and I
nice.
was the exciting before to go anywhere. It was like dream job. Everything was happening. It was when
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
that kind of energy, it was like
Yeah.
living a dream. I went to Malta 2 weeks to learn English. Ended up obviously to do 2 weeks party. It was like that kind of 6 months. Like
Malta's great
Malta's great. Yeah,
for
absolutely.
partying as
I
well.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a bit too on the edge to be too old on
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but I was imagining me like, okay, I
Yeah.
have to do it. It was great.
Nice.
Came back from Malta, done the last drinks with my friends, and then the day took the flight, my parents brought me to Florence, and the moment I was completely still drunk. I think the night before we had the last drinks, and obviously it was the last drinks with
Yeah.
lots of people, lots of hugs, lots of says,
Yeah.
lots of drinks, and
Yeah.
came back home late, and then woke up after 2 hours. So it was
Yeah.
saying bye to my parents, and then going the flight, and suddenly everything came like down. It was like, oh,
I'm doing
like
this.
in tears.
Really, yeah.
Like it was I remember that
Yeah.
flight like it was now. It was almost all the weight of the thing that I was gonna do, obviously
Yeah.
leaving a country and everything. I was feeling the pressure that, oh, it's real now.
Yeah.
And arrived to Canterbury, and the first few days was very very down. Like I was trying to write a lot, because obviously was the feeling was not great.
No,
No,
yeah.
it's like obviously I don't want to come back. That you don't even
Yeah.
think about this, but it's like you are in a country I didn't know have any words. I remember, and then I booked a student house, so I was not like going. I don't have any room. I was kind of
Yeah.
the lucky one, if you want to say. I mean, I had accommodation. I booked a student house for 3 months, so it was all exciting. It was not
Of course, yeah.
nothing to complain at all. But the feeling to be in, I think, was more the pressure that
Yeah.
you realize that, oh, this pressure is gonna stay with you for a long time.
Yeah.
It stayed
Of course.
because it stayed because you always think you got kind of at the beginning almost you need to um you worry what people thinks and people what they thought when you were living. Oh, this guy, what he wants to
Yeah,
do.
he'll be back.
It comes to you, even to people that you actually you know them very well, because sometimes friends they might
Yeah,
comment you when you do something like that, and you
yeah,
I think this precious stay you with quite a while.
yeah,
That's why sometimes you I wanted to kind of showing off that I started learning English. Oh, I found a job, because you almost need them to. Hey guys,
yeah,
I knew what I was gonna
yeah, yeah,
do,
yeah.
but you need that,
You almost
which I
need to,
completely lost after a few years. You lose it year by year, but it took
yeah,
years though.
yeah. It's almost proving it, isn't it, to someone else? Like,
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna make it work. I'm fine. And I think people sometimes feel a bit funny about it because they're jealous that they hadn't done it themselves, or they hadn't thought about doing it,
Yeah.
or just in maybe in your case, the cultural, like that's not what you do. You need to stay in Italy,
Yeah.
like,
No. It's,
and so that must be quite tough. How long did it take you to feel okay? Like I'm in the UK. I feel like I belong here. I'm happy. If you feel that.
I think years, few years, I would
Mm,
say. I think I spent 1 year and a half in Canterbury.
okay.
Obviously, Canterbury after that week, that started to be amazing, like a dream. I mean,
Yeah.
that week was terrifying. Was went through a lot, but after
Mm,
that week, it was okay. Now
got easier.
that's a new life. Realize that okay, where's the goal? Where's the mini goal? Then I start to enjoy those kind of
Yeah.
knew where I want to be, where I want to do, and
Okay.
realizing what's the other steps. I start building up days, which I read after years. Those in so many books now.
Really?
You open books and they tell you, okay, get goal, do mini goals. You need to know
Yeah.
where you want to go. But then I was not reading those kind of books in the time, but I was so focused on doing a new life. Um, so that year and a half in Canterbury, start working after a few months as a waiter. I always wanted to do, okay, now I'm a waiter, I want to get a supervisor. Then I want to get assistant manager. Always visualizing what's the next step?
So you
What's the
had
next
your
step?
mini goals.
Always, what's the next step? What's the next step?
Did you have the big goal, or did you just have your mini goals?
The big
I
goal, I
want the
would
next.
say, open something on my own.
So you always had that.
Always had that.
Wow.
I
Okay.
see a lots of notes in my old books when I
Yeah.
always like writing. This kind of thing, opening something comes before that was coming UK for some reason. I'm not sure if it's a big goal. I mean, big goal is a big thing, you know. Is
I mean, I
uh,
think it's quite
uh,
a big thing. Opening your own place and
yeah, but then you open the place and that big goal's gone.
yes.
So you I've learned that I don't know, maybe it's just me. Is always putting another goal, and
Okay.
then more working out who do you want to be.
Mm,
That's you go in that stage that
yeah.
why you want to do those kind of questions that are coming over the last few years that
Yeah.
they makes you okay. Yeah, that makes you not bored, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, because sometimes I suppose we put goals out there and then realize actually that's not what I wanted, or I've got it now, so I need another goal, and then we're constantly evolving, right?
uh,
And you're getting older at the same time. And so how long have you been here? 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
Yeah.
2020, yeah.
And what's the journey been? You know, you worked in restaurants, you worked your way up.
Yeah.
Then what else happened? Because you have a family now.
I got family, yeah. I got two great girls,
Yeah.
beautiful wife.
How old are the
So
girls?
the oldest is 9.5, the other one 3.5.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, obviously in Canterbury, I spent 1 year and a half, but I also met my wife.
You did. Wow.
So yeah, I think on the first shift of my kind of workplace, she was doing some accountants in a school, but also she was doing some shift in a restaurant, and it was
Wow.
her last shift. So I met her, didn't say anything, but and then that's it for a few months. We never met again. And then after few months between friends, we went out for dinner, and then yeah, since then obviously we've been
Really?
together. Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah. So it's been obviously yeah those 15 years, quite big journey.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. And so did it progress quite quickly?
yeah, I think it did. Yeah, because obviously we met, I think it was June. I mean, not without I think. Actually, it was the 9th of June. She might listen, my wife, later on.
Perfect.
And then she moved to London for work.
Okay.
And I always said when I came in UK, I want to move to London. I want to move to London.
Did you?
Everyone I met at school, I always would say, I'm moving to London. I'm moving to London. I'm moving to London. And then obviously, eventually, I moved to London.
Yeah.
And then yeah, she was living. She had her own flat. I mean, her room. I found another room for a few months. It was pretty crazy in Leighton, this room. I slept at night and I was feeling the mice underneath the bed. It was like,
Are you joking?
oh, yeah, no, it was real. I mean, didn't know that London had mice before. After years, I realized that it's full of mice. But knowing flat, yeah, that was crazy.
That's crazy.
That was pretty
Whoa.
mad. Yeah, I think I managed to stay 1 month in the house. It was a house, six, 7 bedroom. I guess it's kind of normality for London. You share the rooms and the
Yeah.
houses. One morning, I got woke up by a policeman. He was looking for something in the house. No idea. It was like. And also, I was fairly new. Obviously, it was
Yeah.
not even 2 years in UK, and then was the first approach to
Yes.
London. It was okay. I mean, yeah.
How was London? Like, big city, early 30s. Like, how was that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I always thought London's great, which is great.
Yeah.
But the first approach was the accommodation was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Then obviously I need to find a job, and I was feeling Canterbury. I was kind of manager in an Italian restaurant.
Which
I mean,
one?
if you want to say manager, but it's called Posillipo.
Okay.
Obviously, I was closing the restaurant,
Yeah,
opening the
yeah.
restaurant, so you feel like, okay, I'm in kind of charge. You're not managing much, but you got the key of the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
So I came in London and said, okay, well, I mean, I already
can do
have the
this.
key, so I can do that. So I had this trial shift in the Soho House, which is obviously an amazing place. Didn't even know what Soho House was
Really?
at that time.
You just, yeah.
Okay. And that was a crazy place. I went to the one in Liverpool Street on the rooftop.
Wow.
I did the trial shift, and I was completely away for what I was doing. That's why it was an awful trial shift.
Really?
Very awful in terms of work. I was completely I don't know, completely lost. I was talking with this guy, asking him how was London, but I was actually doing a try shift to get a job. Obviously, I didn't
Yeah.
get a job.
Okay.
And I remember that I go sit down by someone, say, unfortunately, you're not being successful this time, blah, blah, blah. I left, I was like, oh, that was the rejection I felt.
Yeah.
Really heavy, even though it was nothing.
But I suppose if you've gone from a place where you've got the keys and you're managing that restaurant, and then you've got a bit of confidence, right? So
yeah, that's I think it was too much confident, and
Yeah.
I completely lost what I had to do. It was a great lesson, though, really good
course.
lesson. Then obviously started working, and then I found Vinoteca, the one I stayed for a long time. I ended up working in a pub in Canary Wharf for a couple of months before, but just random job.
Which Vinoteca?
So I started in Soho.
Okay.
That was 2012 Olympics.
Yeah.
Especially, they were opening the third side. It was the
Wow.
booming of wine in that time. Everyone wants to learn about wine. Everyone excited about wine. And Charlie and Brett, the founders of Vinoteca, they were obviously really into wine.
Of course.
And it was the kind of restaurant that you get really, really good value for food and for wine.
Yeah.
Which is obviously nowadays everything's like completely changed. But on the time was that everyone wanted to work in this place, and I got a job as a waiter in Vinoteca Soho, and then obviously I started putting the mini goals. Okay, I want to get supervisor. After a few months, got supervisor, and then assistant manager. I ended up to be to have the restaurant in charge. Obviously, I had to flow. It was a team of 30 member of staff, so it was good.
Whoa, big job.
And then I got promoted as GM in Vinoteca Maribon, so the first role proper.
Yeah.
That was the first proper job that you are a GM, is a team of 20 member of staff, and so it gets serious job, not like
Yeah.
I had the key of the restaurant.
They're looking at you, right?
Yeah. It was 2017. 2017.
Okay.
I had my daughter, and that probably when I start feeling, okay, I've done a bit.
Yeah.
I kind of start feeling I got kind of again a safe job. because obviously it's in me how I grew up.
Yeah.
Eh, it was amazing. I mean, those years, GM in Marlem was beautiful restaurants, great food. Also, I met a very great chef, Lloyd, which was first role as head chef and me first role as GM. We didn't have
Wow.
idea what we were doing basically, but we had our own restaurants because Charlie and Bread, they always left trust people, left
Did they?
what actually you do. So it was like having our own restaurant,
Yeah.
and the restaurant was booming.
Was it?
It was after 6 months. It was like always packed. We really enjoyed that thing. Then I left the restaurant. They opened a bigger site in Vinoteca City. That was a huge site,
Okay.
and obviously I applied. That was another step, even though I wasn't ready. I mean, the restaurant had probably 50 members of staff. It was a huge restaurant, big opening. But I thought, okay, let's apply.
Of course.
Apply and yeah, got the job.
You did?
Got the job.
Wow.
Okay, great. We're going to open Vinoteca City. And the first 10, 15 days was awful experience. I mean, it was terrifying.
Why?
Coming, because I wasn't ready at all to do a huge opening.
Yeah.
You have so many member staff coming to you. I was like the
About everything,
overwhelm,
right?
everything. But I'm glad I did because I think it was amazing learning. Even though it was the first week coming home, telling my wife, "Oh, I can't do it. I want to give up. I'm not going tomorrow." I was like a kid, kind of
Really?
thing. Yeah. But then I didn't, and I spent 2 years. Obviously, the restaurant went well and started doing well, and then that's where after I went to OBS, and that's where I started realizing that I was not enjoying being operation manager. Is like you do Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So it was almost going back as I was in Italy. So you do Monday to Friday, looking for the weekend, and being those 10 years doing like not a Monday to Friday job.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in GM, you are your own boss.
Yes.
And you do your rota. You like to get your Wednesday off to do your things.
Yeah.
That's how I was doing for 8 years.
Really?
And then you get in operations, okay, Monday to Friday until 6 o'clock, you here. And then I was like, no, I can't do it. And then pandemic came. Otherwise, I don't think I would have carried on that job for a long time, I think.
Yeah.
It was not for me
No.
at that time.
But you must have learnt so much over those years, like leading big teams of people. I suppose, did you then have in your mind, were you even more sure that I'm going to open my own place at some point? It was almost learning the skills from someone else's business.
Really focused on I think the focus I had on those years was very laser focus.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I mean, I was so focused on the career.
Really?
That I couldn't hear anything from Italy. In those like 7 years, I took off myself from any chats, old friends.
Did you?
Yeah, everything. Not listen anything Italian. And I completely detached 100%. Sometimes, obviously, the best mates, which are still today.
Yeah.
But I was writing them in English on email sometimes because it was it was weird, but I completely switched off what I had in Italy. It happened that kind of two big event that I kind of regret today.
Okay.
But it's kind of reflect what I've done in those years. It was a wedding of one of my friends. It was a football player at that time.
Really?
A very, very good football player. I mean, playing Juventus for 6 years. He won the World Cup. I mean, a big guy. And he invited me at his wedding. And so I can't take the weekend off because I don't want to ask off at work. It was like,
Whoa.
And the time was very, okay, that's what I'm doing. It's easy to say.
Yeah.
If I think today, say, oh no, I regret so much. Why I haven't done that.
Are you still friends?
We're still friends, yeah. We're going to go in a wine trip in a few weeks.
Are you?
We have 5 friends, yeah. No, we're still friends. And also my grandma died on the time. She was 90, 91, or maybe more. I'm very bad with that. And it was like the second mom.
Yeah.
That's why on my Instagram I still have the picture with her. Which is at some point I always say I need to take it out, but I kind of feel a bit sorry. I didn't go to the funeral. I was so focused I didn't want to ask off because I was so focused on the career. I was in between all the next step. I don't want to do anything that is not gonna be allowed to do, or even request a day off or 2 days off. Didn't want to do it because I was
Really?
so focused on that. Um,
How is your relationship with your parents? How was it over that time, and how is it now?
yeah, I mean now it's great. I think with my dad, with my mom, it's more a relationship, parents and adult.
Mm.
Obviously in those years, especially they've been very tough, mainly for them. I guess for my dad, and the time I said I kind of ruined his dream in a way, but
Mm.
which it actually wasn't his dream. He just wanted to be good for his son, to give a
Yeah.
job. But
Yeah.
that time was pretty hard. Obviously, lots of fighting. I remember it was the first few years, obviously, which I kind of understand because
Yeah.
it's, well, my son is going away. He's 30 years old. He doesn't know. He doesn't have a language. He doesn't know what to do. He goes another country. But then slowly, so again, I mean, slowly, year by year, obviously, they start seeing me growing.
Yeah.
So this kind of we start building up a proper real relationship, parents to son,
Yeah.
which you probably never had before because
And you
obviously
might not have had, I suppose, if you'd stayed,
true. That's true. That
because you would have just been in that routine of this is how we do things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, exactly that, 100%.
Have they been to Table 13?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, yeah. They come in UK to visit us quite a lot.
Nice. Nice.
They used always 3 times, 2 times, but
Yeah.
yeah, they been coming in UK a lot. I
Amazing.
made them fly to leave UK.
Really?
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't go much.
No, exactly. So talking about Table 13, so it's in Tottenham Hale. It's a coffee shop by day, wine bar on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday evening. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've had with Table 13, apart from the pandemic? What are some of the other challenges of setting up a business?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's where we are. It's always been pretty good. I think the most challenge I had, my wanting to give up.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's the most challenging on that because I think that it's been growing, even though it's not an easy
Yeah.
period to hospitality. It's very tough, the expense and everything. But I don't think we never had that kind of challenge, that kind of basic. If you run a business, those challenges they are normal. I think mainly it's more for myself because when I started with 13, I always had in my mind, I want to open another one. I want to open another
Okay.
one. I want to open another one. Then I went through a few processes. Okay, let's do it. Then you failed, you get rejected. You fail, you get rejected.
Yeah.
And those time, that's you always say, oh, that's it.
That's
I'm
it,
gonna
done.
give up. That is always okay. Next Christmas, we're not gonna be opening, and that's the challenge I've been through a lot.
Okay.
That kind of okay, maybe I'm not doing it, but I guess it's like when you do something on your own, it's pretty normal.
Yes.
To get that stage that you want to give up, but you don't do it. You don't give up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's so far it's been always the case.
Yeah.
Even though we're still trying to open another side. I don't know how, but we'll try.
So that's your new goal, is to open
Yeah,
another
let's
one.
say is the goal that's been for a long time. It's
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
As I said, we try a few times, raise investments, find another site, everything fall through. Yeah, we're actually looking for some sites. Last couple of weeks, we've seen a few sites. Again, we're back to the process.
Yeah.
Review the pitch deck, and then
Okay.
looking for investments, all that kind of thing.
Nice.
Which is amazing. Is all the process is great.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how they end, because so far we've done twice or
Have
3
you?
times the process.
Do you
And then
enjoy it?
I enjoy it so much.
Do
Yeah.
you?
I mean, obviously you get lots of dopamine in the process
Yeah,
because
of
you
course.
feel like, oh, you feel you're doing, and you feel kind of, you talk with the interior designer, you talk with the contractor, you talk with the other business owner, you feel that you kind of I mean, you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
The downside, obviously, when the nothing happens after that, you get rejected, your offer gets rejected, you don't get investment. All the dopamine you get before, obviously, that's the bill that you get. So
Yeah.
you get sent down to the bottom, and that's where you need to get up
Yes.
in the bottom, and that's where you learn the most. I think
Yeah.
that's the I mean, probably rejection is the best thing that can happen
I think so.
I feel now every time I go back to this process, even now, is happening now, going back.
Yeah.
I feel all those rejections, they were just lesson.
Yes.
Maybe it's gonna be another rejection. Who knows? But it's gonna be another lesson. So
Yeah.
at some point, if you don't,
And do you
give
get the
up-
reasons why they reject you? Do they tell you the reason why? I suppose like
Yeah, I think
you can tweak or you can.
you feel that you were not ready. That's, I think, every rejection I felt, we were just not ready. We
Okay.
are not
Quite there.
It was not right the moment for us. And if you analyze all my rejection the last 3 years, they're trying to do another side.
Yeah.
Now today they're telling me, okay, well, I mean, it's normal that you got rejected because that it was not feeling what you have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know this process what is gonna show up next time, but yeah, that's part of the. I guess when you do things on your own, yeah, it's quite important that you always keep moving.
Yes.
Because I mean, yeah, one of the greatest things to be your own boss is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's also one of the most difficult things because you
It's
don't
all
have
on you.
anyone supporting you. You're always on your own,
Yeah.
and no one actually tap your shoulder anytime. Never.
No.
So it's kind of, you get used to go down,
Yeah.
get back.
Yeah.
Obviously, you without realizing, but you're actually growing. I mean,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a certain way, you grow.
How was it when you opened Table 13? You've brought in a team of people, and the staff you've got at the moment are great. But that first moment that you're like, right, I'm not here today. I'm leaving it to you.
Yeah.
Is it nerve-wracking even more than when you were saying Vinoteca, because that isn't your business? I know you said you kind of treated it like it was, but this is actually your business.
No, it's true. I think I always had the kind of feeling of the team from Vinoteca, obviously managing a team, and never felt that.
Okay.
I always felt when the team is ready to stay without me, it's like if it's me, it's there. So I never had, I'm not there, it's my baby,
Okay.
that kind of.
Good.
Just for the experience I had in Vinoteca, I think.
Yeah.
Because I guess the team, obviously, it's like when you have a team, it's like to have it's like a football team or any sports. It's the same thing.
True.
Hospitality is the same.
Right. Okay.
So it is, if they're ready to play the game, you don't need to be
Lead
there.
them to it,
I mean, it's like a football team manager doesn't need to be playing.
Exactly.
If you've done a proper job,
I love that analogy.
it's good. I love that.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get the point that people actually enjoy playing the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes people ask me, why people stays a lot with you? Because it's always happened since Vinoteca. I made amazing team. And
Really?
my Xbox, they always said that. How do you keep all the people stay longer?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the key, because I think the key is to work. The main thing is work, but you need to play as a game. So you need to enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
Why you playing the game?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you need to win it. If you get busy, winning means the things that we required to do, it needs to be done. That's
Exactly.
winning the game.
Yeah.
And if you get the people, including myself, in that thing, it's like, yeah, it's kind of having fun.
Yeah.
Doing work.
Love that.
Which I do.
Yeah.
Still do shifts in the cafe.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
How many
I
do you
love
do
it.
a week? How?
I do 3 shifts a week.
Nice.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
a bit more.
Yeah.
Especially now we got a new chef.
Okay.
Which became a mate, and that's what all the excitement to do another project is like. It's
Yeah.
all happening over the
Yeah, of
last
course.
3-4 months.
Yeah.
So I tend to spend a bit more time now.
So in terms of coffee and wine, what's your favorite?
Would
Would you like them both equally?
Yeah, I like. My background is wine.
Is it?
Even though I found out about coffee in the restaurants, and every morning you would do the coffee for the chef.
Yeah. of course.
So, and Vinoteca, obviously, we had a great coffee. We had Caravan coffee, which is still one of the top
Really?
coffee in London, or great coffee in London. And so, doing every flour, I mean, every morning you go to work.
Yeah.
I was enjoying the coffee machine. You
Yeah.
steam the milk.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And then you have to do 9 chefs, 9 flat white, and then you start doing your latte art. And then I start
Okay.
saying, oh, I want to open a coffee shop. That's I've always been saying
Wow.
since 2012. Everyone knew, oh, Fred is going to open the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. I always said that. Eventually, it happened.
And you're done,
It
yeah.
happened, yeah. But then obviously coffee. Open a coffee shop. My coffee background wasn't. I mean, I like coffee. I like the flat white. I like the black coffee. But I wasn't not into washed, not washed, all this country single, not at all.
Right.
But I met Gianluca. We opened together.
Yeah.
The Table 13. Obviously, was a coffee guy, really into coffee. Obviously, open a cafe. You go to coffee tasting. You to decide your coffee you're gonna sell. I felt that coffee is exactly the same as wine. So the profile, how you taste it, and again, you both taste with palate. So I found very similarity.
Yeah.
Lots of similarity between wine and coffee.
And you put a lot of effort into choosing your coffee, right?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
The same as wine, I think.
Yeah.
We like that. I think that's the most enjoyable thing.
Yeah.
Tasting a lot of new stuff,
Yeah.
and then you decide what to put.
Exactly.
But I love both equally.
I love that.
Even though I kind of trying to reduce the alcohol and the caffeine,
It's so difficult. It's so difficult. Yeah. I could easily have 4 or 5 coffees a day. But anyway, so usually it's a question I ask right at the very beginning, but what's your go-to coffee order? What would you usually have in a coffee shop?
It depends. I mean, when I wake up, I do the breakfast for the kids. I usually have a filter coffee. I do a filter coffee home. That's the first coffee.
Yeah.
I've tried to do a bit of decaf coffee recently, but that's my first coffee. If I open the shop in the cafe, the first coffee will be a black Americano. After lunch, or if I go out to any place, it's a flat white.
Is it?
That always,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the flat white kind of thing, which is probably one of them. Yeah, my favorite.
I think I've said it on this podcast before, but I feel that a flat white is like a treat.
It is, yeah.
Like generally I have a black Americano day to day, but then when I want to feel like I'm going to indulge, I have a flat white.
Do you feel the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I really do.
It's like the flat white is like, okay, today I'll have a bit of milk.
Exactly. Yeah, nice. What's one of the biggest life lessons or that you've learned, or a bit of advice that you want to share with others?
Oh, that's a big question. Yeah.
Anything you might have learned on your journey, I suppose.
I don't know. I think if I see my journey is there are, if I break down a lot, it comes out always about to break up the comfort zone. I think that's the quite key thing on do things, because I realized that bigger your comfort zone, hardest to come out. And when you're in a comfort zone, it's great. We all love it, and they're great. But I think that the best advice, if you start feeling too comfortable in your comfort zone, it should be a red flag. Because I think more you stay in that, the harder to get out.
Yes.
Because the fear, I think it grows more, the comfort zone get bigger. Because obviously when you break the comfort zone, the fear is like, it's waiting you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's you.
Yeah.
And then more you grow that. I think that's what I learned, or at least I experienced over the last probably 15 or 20 years.
I really love that.
Breaking the comfort zone probably is, it's my favorite, even though it's so hard. But
yeah, and seeing it as a red flag when you're comfortable. I really like it. Yeah. So obviously you own a coffee shop, but if you could have coffee with anyone, dead or alive, who would you have coffee with? Who would you invite to table 13, or maybe somewhere else?
Okay, that's good. I mean, I think I go over the last 5 years. I'm reading a lot. I haven't read a lot. I mean, I haven't read anything when I was a kid or at school. I was terrible. But now I put myself, I have to read 1 hour a day.
Do you?
So I'm trying to read 20 minutes in the morning when I wake up early. I trying to do 10, 15 minutes during the day, and then 20 minutes before bed.
Wow.
With this way, I read few books, which is, for me,
That's
it's
so
such
good.
accomplishment. Because for people who knows me before, I never read anything. And so I read quite a lot. Not enough. Obviously, I want to read more.
Of course.
But probably I would. If I have to say one name, I would meet Joe Dispenza.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
I would be intrigued too, because I think it describe. I read a couple of books from him, but it was very hard to read those books because obviously he explained why the brain, how it works,
Yeah.
how your thoughts works with your body. So it's like it's very deep.
Mm.
But I've seen real myself that it is actually what is explained in so detailed words and scientific words and
Yeah.
scientific words is real. And when I notice on myself, I say, "Oh wow, that's great." So I would love. I mean, to have a chat with him, it's like I feel it's kind of
Yeah.
one of those name that would be in books for a long time.
Where would you go? Where would you take him?
With Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
I hope one day I'm gonna do because he does these crazy retreats around the world.
Really?
So he gets the community. Like there's so many people, and you obviously you meditate like
Yeah.
12 hours a day and those kind of thing. I wish one day to do. That's
Do
kind
you?
of bucket. Yeah.
Yeah. Bucket list, were you about to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether we meet, I think I walk. I
Yeah.
would have a walk. I walk a lot. I love walking.
Yeah.
And probably if I had to meet Joe Dispenza, yeah, I would love to have a walk with him. Yeah.
Is there something in life that you've had to unlearn?
That's very good question. To unlearn.
I imagine maybe in your earlier days in London, you've kind of maybe had to unlearn your Italian ways slightly, or
Okay,
along your
yeah.
way. I don't know.
I don't know what to unlearn. I think that word I never heard unlearn.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's the second time I've asked this
I
question.
kind of go in my brain to trying to translate in Italian, which happens less and less.
Really?
But unlearn.
Something maybe did for a really long time, and you just thought, "Nah, this needs to change. I need to stop doing this."
Okay, no, I think that's.
you
I think I should unlearn. I think where coming from, I'm coming from my culture, or my past. That kind of be quite close. And then obviously you come in UK, you're on your own, you learn a new language, you
Yeah.
meet new people, and you open your mind start open. So I think I would unlearn that the close, not the closeness, but the kind of quite close mind that my head before to come in UK. Especially I'm coming from Florence, which is a tiny city. Everyone knows about each other. It's like
Really?
and you kind of grow up with okay, you talk about other people. That's I would like to unlearn.
Right. Okay.
Even though I think I did a little bit.
Well, it was your
but
surroundings, I suppose.
yeah, because you kind of grow up, and then it's quite normal. You talk bad things about others. You talk more others.
Yeah.
Rather than good things.
Exactly.
Like happen now.
Yeah.
I try to not to talk about other people.
Yeah.
But I think that's definitely one thing I would have learned.
Yeah. Good. So what does the future look like for you? What do you want to achieve next?
Yeah, I mean, we professionally we want to open another site.
Yeah.
I think Table 13 at this stage it's great concept where we are. We've done an amazing community, but then we need to think about more the future. That we kind of review the concept. We want to slightly change the concept. I mean, we're still an old school cafe where you sit down, a waiter will obviously ask for your order.
Yeah.
We're kind of trying to change kind of the setup, so kind of to do a bit more. If you imagine Lyon kind of thing,
Yeah.
imagine Table 13 in Lyon setup, where you can have a great coffee in the morning with a great pastry, and then obviously lunch, takeaway or stay in, but no service. And then Tanya and Leon in a wine bar, which I don't think we've seen it yet, but that's what we're working on with Ari,
Nice.
which is the head chef,
Yeah.
also my mate. And we really into this, that the goal is to find the site and to build kind of a prototype, obviously the site.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we'll get seen by someone with bill cash and we say, guys, we want to get 10 of Table 13.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, that's the next goal is to do a prototype of this.
Yeah.
That's
It's probably easier, isn't it, to change the concept in a new site than
yes.
than your existing.
But I think
People are
so.
used to the way of
Yeah. We can't change anything where we are. I think people are really used to as it is. Because I mean, we do have, as you know, we got lots of regulars. People comes almost every day.
Yeah.
And you when you go every day in a place, even if you change the color of the sugar, the bag, it's like, oh, what you done? It's like, okay, sorry. It's like we need to be careful there.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, we are open for those people.
Yeah,
they come in every day. So
yeah, exactly. What about personally? Any future goals for your family, for you?
Yeah, I do have lots of goals. I think I'm trying to better human being.
Yeah.
On the health side, I try to do a bit more sport. I want to do more.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, I want to be more, kind of start to be more relaxed. I'm not so young anymore, and kind of obviously the meditation kind of want to be better on those things.
Yeah.
Also to be a better husband and better dad.
Yeah.
I mean, trying my best in
I
both
think we're all
sides.
trying.
We're all trying
always to be better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as long as we try our best, I think we should be fine.
And I think go easy on yourself. Like, I mean, you've been married longer than me and you've got kids, but I got married last summer, and I think sometimes we have these little arguments and I take it really personally. Yeah. I'm like, we're just human. Of course we're going to argue.
True.
You know? But
I still need to get used to. I mean, it's obviously, you said right. It's like, because sometimes fighting in a marriage, especially in my culture, I never seen my parents fighting.
Really? Okay.
Because I think you want to hide everything, and it's like that culture that arguing is not allowed.
Yeah.
Which is obviously we live in a flat with 2 kids and the wife, and
of course,
obviously we fight a lot. it's like, and the kids, they breathe that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our family.
Yeah.
It's like we all live together.
Exactly.
It's kind of normal. Obviously, we
probably
could do a bit better maybe sometimes, but hey, we
it's life.
It's life.
Yeah, exactly.
We're busy. We got so many things. And
well, we're almost at the end of time, so we've just got the quick fire round. So I'm just going to ask you the questions. First thing that comes to your head. First thing you do in the morning?
Wake up 5:30 a.m. I do 20 minutes exercise, 20 meditation, 20 reading.
Wow.
When I'm very good.
Before the girls are up?
Yeah, the girls are up 7:30, so I get it kind of 1 hour and a half for myself. And that's one of my goals, to stick on that. I've been doing for probably 5 years.
Really?
But obviously ups and downs, habits.
Yeah.
When you get the habits, you do for 30 days, you're great.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. You stop for 1 week, you're back to zero.
So
and then you can start, it's like, but I've seen when I do for long, that's great. It makes me feel good. Yeah, definitely.
Good for you. Nice, nice. I was going to say be honest, coffee or tea, but I'm going to say coffee or wine. What would you prefer?
Coffee is the first thing in the day.
Favorite place you've visited and why?
I think India.
You've been to India?
Yeah, I've been to India before coming UK. Was 2009, 8, something like that. Obviously, I was in a state quite different. It was a trip. I already decided to leave Italy. It was pretty special. Then going in that country, that the people, everything was like completely different that I never seen. Yeah. So I always say I want to go back. Also,
Really?
we done the south.
Okay.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
We done the seaside. We went to the mountain, to all the tea things.
Wow.
It was like probably one of my first big trip. And also on that time, I felt a really special place.
Of course. I'd love to go.
It's great.
Yeah, I've never been.
The people. I mean, the smile of the people, incredible. It's wow.
Love that. Favorite way to spend your day off?
Walking.
Walking.
Anywhere. If I do a long walk, I think I've seen a lot of corner of London.
Really?
I like to start walking from here, go to Stratford, then going down. Yeah. Central London. I walk a lot.
Yeah, we're so lucky to be on the River Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the marshes are...
Yeah, so nice. If you could time travel, would you go forwards or backwards?
I would stay still.
You'd stay still?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I would say so.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to go back in the past. It's something that it's the past is gone and no point. Again, going in the future is like, I like to see myself achieving something in the future. I like to visualize myself most of the time. But again, I'm trying to stay still in the moment, which is not easy.
Good for you.
At least I'm trying to say.
Yeah. What is the weirdest thing that you've Googled recently? Is there anything you've Google searched or?
I think I've done some this morning, but not weird. I don't know, actually, no.
Or anything.
I can't say.
No. It's fine. And finally, what's a small moment of joy that you've experienced recently?
A small moment.
Any moment of joy. Small, large.
Recent, I think I went to a wedding of my mate.
I saw.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Never seen a wedding like that. It's like,
what's his background? Because I saw some pictures.
Yeah, background is he was born in UK. His parents from Iran, so they moved when they were very young. 18, something like that. So it was a wedding I never seen because they are so many culture. In that room. And you were breathing there. I always been to Italian wedding that all the people are exactly the same. Everyone dressed the same. Everyone talked the same. And this one was like, it was a bit of everything.
It did look like I saw some pictures. It looked special.
What was amazing. It took 2 days to recover because we drank quite a bit. But what was pure joy to see the ceremony and everything.
Amazing.
Also was with my family. It was
really?
great. Really felt good.
Good. Well, look, thank you so much for coming on to ChatterBeans. I've really loved our conversation, getting to know you a bit more. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, man. I really enjoyed it. I was a bit nervous those days. What I'm gonna say, and but no, it made me feel like having a chat with a mate. So it was good.
Good.
No, thank you so much for having me. It was great.
Thank you. So where can people connect with you, find out about Table 13, your life? Where can people find you?
3 days, sometimes 4 days a week. I'm in Table 13.
Nice. We'll tag your Instagram account, the Table 13, so that people can
absolutely
find out about
that
you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, amazing.
We're there. Come to say hi.
Good.
And I'll see you there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No, thanks a lot. Thank you.
See you soon. Cheers.
See you soon.
Thank you so much for tuning in to ChatterBeans. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. If you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And for more behind-the-scenes moments, guest updates, and a peek into the world of ChatterBeans, follow us on Instagram at chatter.beans. Until next time, grab a coffee, sit back, and let's keep chatting.